started. Oh, Love is Blind is insane because you are watching people get emotionally abused and then just get over it and then get married. Has anybody been watching Love Island? I know, likely niche within the Twitch community, but not a single one? Hello? Someone in my chat has got to be watching the latest season of Love Island.
There's no escape.
Okay, I think one person said yes. Is it good? Yeah, it's fucking fire. Yeah, I made Arya watch it too. Guys, I don't think you understand how much money I would pay to watch Love Island on my stream. Oh my god.
Jackpot.
It's at least 5 figures, maybe 6. For real. Love Island. I'm just gonna tell you guys about it, because if you're not watching it, you're probably not gonna watch it, so let's just talk some shit, even though you don't know anything. It's a show where... Oh, I have the best stories, okay? Listen up. It's a show where they bring together like 10 or so contestants, like 10 girls, 10 guys. And I kid you not, it's Discord dating. They make them sit in rooms where they can't see each other, but they can hear each other. And then they make them talk to everybody. And then they have to choose someone to marry within a week of talking. It's legit sleeping on mic, calling each other Discord kitten and shit. That is the show. Basically. But for like super grown adults. I'm talking 25 to 35. Wait, did I say Love Island? I meant Love is Blind. I'm so sorry. I meant Love is Blind. Have you guys been watching Love is Blind? I watch both. So have you guys been watching Love is Blind? Because I am going to start spoiling the latest season. I know that show. I watch that show. Okay, some people. Okay, good. I am caught up on the latest episodes. So that's the premise. They bring them together. Spice. Right? They bring them together and they're like, talk amongst yourselves and figure out who you want to marry. That, like, straight up. Pick someone to marry within the week. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit hilariously cringe to watch someone in one room get down on one knee and propose over the phone to someone else.
Bro.
Yeah. They get down on one knee and they can't even see the other person. Will you please? I would love to for the rest of my life. 1 week into knowing them. Huh? Couldn't be me. I will know a man for 2 years and I will still not truly know him. So what? 7 days? You couldn't pay me enough. No. Sounds like trust issues. No, it's just experience. Church. So, they do all that. They do that and then, you know, they propose. And if the person says yes, then they live together for a week or 2 and then they get married. And they either say I do or they say I don't or whatever, but you get to see their journey. Love at first Discord call, for real. In the latest season, there is this one guy. Ooh. One guy.
Shine down.
He's a sociopath, straight up. And I do not say that lightly. So let me tell you why I say that. Okay? Okay. So this one guy, there's certain things that he said that I can't talk about because they're extremely not PG-13. But he basically gets on the show and he starts talking about his adult experiences, his intense adult experiences. It's very odd. And the girl he's talking to is like, didn't ask, but okay. And then when he proposes to her, she says no. She's like, I feel like, you know, you kind of put on a front, but it's not really who you are. And I'm like, very, very true. Absolutely true.
Shine down.
And then they show him doing his like post-show interview because he has to go home because the girl said no, you know?
Hold the line.
And you know what he does? He asks the interviewer, he's like, "Are you rolling?" And the interviewer's like, "Yeah, we're filming." And he goes, "Oh, all right, one sec." He takes out... No, I need to pause for this. He takes out eye drops, puts them in his eyes. And he's like, "Is it okay if I do this?" And they're like, "If your eyes hurt, yeah, you could use eye drops." He takes the eye drops again. And he goes, the eye drops are pouring down his face again. "Well, you know, I couldn't imagine that within a week, I could fall so in love with someone that it would bring me to tears." He tried to fake cry on the show and they left it in. Which, wow. I was yes. I was like, producers, you guys did good. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. It was absolutely hilarious. And I cannot wait for the reunion. I hope they call him out. I want to see what the heck he's going to say because it was so clear when he went on the show that he was just trying to get internet famous. He kept talking about all this random shit like, "Yeah, you know, I made a lot of money." Hold on. Anyways, so when he went on the show, he just kept talking about all this random stuff like, "Yeah, I made a lot of money, but then I realized like that's not really what I wanted. So I traveled to like Africa or something where I did wildlife photography and it's so crazy being out in the wilderness for days and weeks and like," he said, "waking up and sleeping amongst dead carcasses of animals." And we're like, literally, who the fuck asked, bro? He just came on that show to flex and then fake cry. Okay, the inappropriate stuff that he was talking about, I don't want to say it verbatim.
Rest and rebuild.
But do you guys remember that tweet? You remember that tweet I tweeted something and people took it the wrong way on my second Twitter. Do you remember? Do you remember? It was about the hair stuff. You know, the edges on your hair?
Make yourself a home.
That is basically... Oh no, I wasted the ult. That is what he was sitting there talking about to this poor young woman who, quite frankly, just did not ask. She just did not ask. They're sitting there like, "Hey, like, what are you looking for in a partner? Blah, 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 blah." And he goes, "Well, actually, for me, I'm looking for a partner who can bring me to the edge of the world." You know? Anyways. So, that was his whole personality. He was like, "I was with an older woman, and she... blah, blah, blah," whatever. And it's like... This did not naturally come about. You went out of your way to discuss these things, and that's weird. That tells me... because it was not a natural... path for the conversation. It was like, wow, you went out of your way to discuss this on national television because you want people to know you for that. And then you fake cried. Nah, I'm not over it. I'm not over it. And it was hilarious. Fake cried. Wow. Opinions on Cole and Zenab. Don't get me started. Oh, Love is Blind is insane because you are watching people get like emotionally abused and then just get over it and then get married. Like the situations in this show, the guys will literally be like, the girls will be like, "So what do you think of me?" And they'll be like, "Oh my god, like I think you're a 9 out of 10." And the girl will be like, "Well, did you think any of the other girls you talked to, like now that everybody has seen each other in person?" He'll be like, "Oh well, yeah, this girl and this girl, they're a 10 out of 10." And the girl will be like, "Well, you're marrying me, but you like them better? Or like you're more attracted to them? Huh? And then the guys will be like, well, yeah, you know, like, that's just attraction and like, you know, oh. It drives me crazy because it makes me realize people's standards in relationships are on the fucking floor. They are in the dirt. They are underground. Just like that one portal I had to get. It's underground. The bar has not been lifted whatsoever. And it's kind of, it's yucky to think like, and I'm sure there are some guys, even at home, that are like, oh yeah, you know, like, some girls can be more attractive than my wife. The point of marrying someone is that they as a human being should be subjectively the most attractive to you. Like if I'm gonna, my husband to me will be the most attractive man in the world. To me. That's the point. They should be a 10 out of 10 to you. When someone asks you, you should say they are a 10 out of 10. Not, oh, they're a 9 out of 10. And that girl, well, she's a 10 out of 10. That's my opinion. And if you guys disagree, let me know. Like, you don't have to say objectively, my partner looks better than everybody in the world, and models and whatever. Oh, the guys on the show will literally bring up like Kim Kardashian and shit. You would not make it past the first date with me for real. Also, if you disagree, tell me why. Tell me why. I agree, but it's kind of unrealistic. I feel like that's how love should work. What do you mean? What the hell you mean? Okay, you know what? Before we continue this, do you guys understand the difference between subjective and objective? I think we should talk about that first. All right. Subjective means to me. Objective means you are better looking than everybody objectively. Like, you know, we can all look at a model and be like, yes, they are attractive. Right? But subjective means to me. So, it's unrealistic. Nah, know your worth and don't lower it. Yeah, I'm curious why you guys think that's unrealistic. Why is it unrealistic? Because I feel like that's not a standard like just for your partner, but it's a standard for like the type of love you're looking for. And that's the kind of love I'm looking for.
When the sun's out, bathe in sunlight. But
serious input here to help other men. Let's say a man only wants to be monogamous but is sought after by multiple equally attractive women. What does he do then? How does he choose, especially in the spur of a moment, if they are all in proximal location, par example? Have you guys heard of personalities? Why is this only based off of I have 4 women around me, they are all objectively an 8 out of 10, and they are all within 3 to 5 miles from my home. Which one should I choose? This ain't local singles ad. Like, talk to a human being. Do you get along? What's going on? Dude, some people are 4 out of 10 and they know they can't have 10 out of 10 and they will find a foul. You are speaking objectively. You're saying like this person in the world is about a 4 out of 10 in attractiveness. What I'm saying, also, I'm so sorry, but like if you've never really experienced love, maybe it's harder to relate or understand. But when you love someone, you're like, they are a 10 out of 10 human being. Like they are a 10 out of 10 out of attraction in terms of the combination of looks and personalities and behaviors and characteristics to me. Does that make sense? I would love a microwave Pop-Tart. At least for me, I don't want to be in a relationship. Sorry, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's like, yeah, like, you look great, sweetie, but I find this person more attractive. More? Because to me, attraction is a combination of character and how you look. Like, of course, objectively speaking, many people, like just based off of looks, look way better than me. But you shouldn't be more attracted to someone than your partner. That's, in my opinion, where the issue lies. You know? Sorry, but why is it good to take relationship advice from a gameplay streamer? Not being horrible, I'm just interested why this is being talked about. No, guys, we're just talking about stuff. Also, I would like for you to know, I cannot say this seriously with her saying this in the back. I am more multifaceted than being but a gameplay streamer. I would just like you to know that. When I get off of my stream, I don't cease to exist as a human being. I actually continue to live my life. And I actually did live my life prior to becoming a streamer. So, I'm not just pixels on your screen, albeit being pixels on your screen. I swear, it's like, oh my god, it's like, you know when you see a teacher at the grocery store and you're like, holy shit, you exist outside of school hours? It's that kind of thing. Which, like, I understand, but, you know. Wait, you're real? You're real funny looking. Sorry. Anyways. What are your guys' thoughts about this? Especially as I'm explaining. Oh my god. And the issue with another couple. This guy named Barstool. I'm kidding. His name is Bartiste, but on TikTok, everybody fucks up his name just because he's being such an asshat in the show. So they call him like Barstool Barista. Sorry. The barista one is really good. Barista this week has just said and done and this and that. So funny. Let me show you guys, okay? This is Nancy. This is Bartiste. This is the guy who did the fake tears. So funny. So funny. Nancy? She's so fine. And every single episode is just about how hard of a time Barstool is having being attracted to the woman that he proposed to. Literally the whole show, their part.
When the sun's
Wait.
out, bathe in sunlight.
Yes, this is Zainab. The whole show is him being like, I don't know if I'm not attracted to you. That's the whole show. You watch her cry out of insecurity, which is so sad. What? Bro, she's crying. I'm like, do you got eyeballs? I don't know. It's also, it's just, I understand he's probably trying to be some form of honest with her, but there is no nice way to tell your fiance that you're not physically attracted to them. Like, there's just, you can't, bro. There's no nice way to do that. Yeah, he was like, but looks do matter. She's literally so pretty. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, you know, zooming out of Barstool and Cole, whatever his name is. Zooming out of all of that, it is interesting to think, like, you can feel so emotionally connected to someone and then see them and not want to be with them anymore. And you know what else I find interesting? In these Love is Blind shows, I don't think there's been a single time where the girl was the one who was like, oh no, like, you're not attractive enough for me. If anyone wants to correct me, feel free to, but just making a, you know what, just something I noticed. Was there one person? I think it's like one girl to like 6 guys. Jessica and Mark, I see. I don't think I recall that one. At least on this season, it's like 2 guys have that issue and no girls have that issue. Either way, more so just like a comment on how we view dating sometimes. You know, like you can be so into someone's personality, but if mentally you are very used to being attracted to a certain type of person, that can be difficult. And you know what else is interesting? How much attraction is dependent on environment growing up. And it's like you might be missing out on the love of your life just because you're used to thinking that one thing is attractive. In my opinion, if you grow up in a very like multicultural environment and you try to minimize biases regarding like who or what can be attractive, I feel like that opens you up to having a lot more and better relationships and better luck in love and life. Love and life. Actually, wasn't this something? This was something I kind of saw in LSF. Unfortunately, the other week, people were talking about like they were talking about that dating show where a guy was like refusing to talk to any of the girls if they like weighed over a certain amount. And you know, just everybody being like, preference is this, preference is that. Whenever I see someone with like really strict or shallow preferences when it comes to dating, you know, I'm not here to tell you what to like or what not to like, but I will say, so I was gonna say, when I see people justifying preferences like that, you know, like I'm not gonna be here and be like, you should be attracted to whatever. I feel bad for you. If you're like, I refuse to date people of this race, I will only date people of this race. That sucks for you, man. That's like half of a dating pool just gone. And like really, really good and true love goes so far beyond how you look. Bro, that shit's about to fade. Someday we're all gonna be a prune, like a big... we're all gonna be big prunes. That's kind of what, no offense, old people are like you're just a little prune. Are you gonna care that much then? Doubt it. Yeah, like a prune, you know, like a wrinkly old prune. No, listen. I think you're misunderstanding me. For starters, you can't say that all marriages start off with anything. I'm not saying you can't be attracted to other people. I'm saying if you're marrying someone, you shouldn't be more attracted to someone else. I don't think that's a crazy thought. Obviously, objectively, as human beings, you can be like, that person looks good, that person looks good. And even if you're married, you can probably still develop crushes on people. Yeah. But you should still be dedicated, obviously, to your marriage and not pursue those things. It's different to say someone is attractive versus saying they're more attractive than you, my girlfriend. That's, to me, that is cringe. That is a little bit cringe to me. That is un petit peu cringe. 70% of marriages end in death. Bro. I also think it's... when you guys hear like, 50% of marriages end in divorce, what do you guys think? What is the first thing that goes through your mind? And then I'll tell you the first thing that goes through my mind. I don't care. Cheating. Sad. Yeah, no shit. Huge number. Why get married? People get married too fast. You wanna know what goes through my mind when I hear 50% of people get married and then divorced? I think this is gonna sound crazy, I think. So just hear me out. Alright. When I hear 50% of marriages end in divorce, I think good. Because I'd rather two people be divorced and go find love and happiness elsewhere than forcibly try to make themselves stay together. People get married for all sorts of reasons. People find love in all sorts of ways. It is what it is. That's like saying every relationship you get into should be the last one you're ever in. Good Lord, no. You live and you learn. That's the point of life. Where the hell am I going? Really, like... And also, it makes me think back to the generations before us where our mothers, our grandmothers, or whoever, they didn't have the choice to whether or not they could divorce. They didn't. And that's far scarier than, people get divorced. To me, divorce signifies, like, we both recognize this isn't working. Like, yeah, are there maybe things people should be wary of before getting married? And is there education we can give people? And maybe even like relationship training? Absolutely. You can fiddle with those variables all you want. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to look at a divorce rate and be like, no. It's good. It is an exercise of your freedom, in my opinion. Like, have you guys ever been like 12, 13, 14, 15? I mean, obviously you have been. But you know when you fall for someone and you're young? And then you grow up and you're like, I can't believe I put up with that. Yeah, like, no. You know? That's why it makes me think, like, what if I had a terrible relationship like that, but we ended up getting married because I had never experienced anything better and I didn't know that better existed. Like, I would want the ability to... I can't believe I just tried to kill that squirrel. I'm a terrible person. I would want the ability to end a bad relationship. That's it. It's that simple. Ooh, but you know what I do find very interesting? I was actually talking to my dad about this when I hung out with my... Oh my god! I didn't tell you guys, but... When I saw my parents in New York recently, I asked my parents... Oh, this is so cute. So, I realized, like, wow, my parents have been together for like 30 years. They've been married for 30 years. And they seem pretty happy to me. So, I was like, you know what? I should ask them what they feel are, you know, the most important things in a long-lasting marriage or relationship. But me, I took engineering, so I've run lab reports, tests, theories, hypotheses, ABCs, DEFGs. I've done all of that. So I was like, I need to gather information in a non-biased way. What does that mean? Oh! I asked my dad while my mom was gone. I was like, I don't want to ask them when they're together, and then maybe one of them will feel like they have to give a certain answer. I want to hear their unbiased thoughts and opinions, you know? So my mom went to the bathroom, and I was like, Bubba, like, yeah, wow, you guys have been married for 30 years. And you know what he does? He does this. I was like, oh, wow, you guys have been married for 30 years. And he goes... He started clapping out of joy. He was like, yep, we have. I was like, that's the cutest shit I've ever seen. That's the cutest shit I've ever seen. That's why my standards they're up there. My standards are up there. He was people clapping. It's like 30 years. He was like, yep. So cute. And then I asked him, and I asked my mom when she came back as well. Because, bro, I didn't have to ask my mom alone. I know whatever she's going to say, she'll say it with him around or not around. My dad said having mutual goals is very helpful. But he also said it in French, so kind of the way that I understood it was like mutual values and goals. Like if you both want to have kids, a family, and you care about like family values per se, I think that tends to show like a mutual goal in a sense. He also he said something kind of funny. He was like, he said, also, I think it's important to let go of certain things. I find that sometimes, obviously he's not trying to generalize. When he says women, he's like talking about my mom. But he's like, I find sometimes that women get a little caught up in those small things, and that it's okay to like give that to them. Essentially compromise in those ways, because oftentimes they will be willing to compromise in the big ways. So if you're in a relationship and like you can't stand saying sorry or apologizing or like leaning in for your partner when they need it, like those small things that don't matter that much, you can't have too much pride or ego in a relationship. It just gets in the way. Yeah, it was very, very Giga Chad. He knows. So it's like, I think it's very important to, you know, let go on those things. Let me think about what my... What did my mom say? The reason it's hard for me to remember is because she said so much. I think obviously she said like, hey, trust and communication is really important. You know what, maybe I'll call her and ask her again. Hold on. Someone in chat said I need a man like him. Please do not talk about my father like that. I mean, like, I get what you're saying. It's just weird to read.
Illusion shattered.
Let me call her. Allô, ça va? Bro, she's for real trying to prep me for marriage. Anyways, so she said, for starters, she was like, the first 3 years are kind of like, you know, what's that say? The rose-tinted glasses. So everything is like totally great. You let go of the small stuff, the issues, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But what really shows whether or not, you know, it'll make a good long-term partnership is if they're there for you in your very, very difficult moments. And I know she says that from experience, but I don't want to share for her. But, you know, when people ask like, oh, if I like gain 50 pounds, are you still gonna love me? What if I got sick? What if I have cancer? What if I do this? What if I do that? I think it is very, very telling whether or not someone is there for you in those even when you have a really shitty day and you're just not yourself, you're not happy, whatever. How they react in those moments is extremely, extremely telling. Oh my god. Do you guys remember? If you were a worm, would you love me? Yeah, that shit is funny. Do you remember, for those that were here, like 2-3 years ago, where I was receiving like a lot of harassment online. It was like thing after thing that was just, if you know, you know. And I had to just like disappear from the internet for a little bit. During that time, I remember there was someone that I was confiding in a lot. And you know what they said to me? This was like 2 weeks of back-to-back just terrible things happening to me. And one day they were like, this has all been, it's been really hard listening to you talk about this stuff. And I was like,
Inazuma shines eternal.
it's like, yeah, it's just been really draining. I was like, how fucking draining do you think it has been actually going through it? Huh? And like, listen, I know, you know, like if your friend is really sad or whatever, at some point, it isn't always fun and lively to listen to, but if you care about them, you do it anyways. You don't complain. Or you try to distract them or cheer them up or whatever. You don't say like, oh my God, imagine someone is sick and you're like, taking care of you has been so tiring. And they're on their deathbed like, like obviously you're just gonna make them feel bad. It's that kind of attitude, you know? It's that kind of attitude, bro. Yucky. And then you're putting them in a situation where it's like, oh, would you rather I don't talk about all this insane, terrible shit that's going on? And I also, like, you guys know me. I am a generally, like, very happy, optimistic person. I'm typically only sad when, like, if something really bad happens to me. Like, it's not even coming from within me. Yeah, your sadness makes me uncomfy. Could you, like, not? Anyways, that kind of stuff, you cannot be like that with your partner. Aside from that, she just said, like, finding someone who's responsible and who has similar goals as you. And she's like, you kind of have to be with a similar person to you. And what she means by that is, like, if you're someone who... If you're someone who, like, really cares about politics and what's happening... Oh my God, I'm healing him. If you're someone who, like, cares about people in poverty and politics and what's going on and blah, 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 it's just gonna be very, very hard to happily be with someone who's not. And, like, who just doesn't give a shit at all. But that's the thing. I'm not saying one way is better than the other. I'm just saying it's really, really hard to be with someone who is inherently that different from you. You know? Like, if you're like, hey, listen to this terrible thing that has occurred in the world, and they're like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a fuck. Like, remove all obstacles. Dude. Oh, and then one of the things she said was like, she was like, you need someone who is willing to do the things that you like with you. She was like, nowadays, you, like, well, she said she loves going to, like, plays and shows. She was like, I couldn't be with someone who refused to go to these things with me. And that's the only time I get mad at your dad, if he doesn't want to go with me. I'm like, that's so cute. But yeah, those things make a lot of sense to me. So yeah.